This is a 2020 custom line Navetta 33. It's a 33 metre, it is absolutely gorgeous, and the captain is a guy called Antonio who happens to be a fan of aquaholic, and he's just given me about the most thorough tour I've ever had of a super yacht. And if I can remember everything he's told me, you are in for a treat, because there's a lot of detail to this one. Starting with this passerelle. The nice thing with this passerelle is, whereas a lot of passerelles just have a single sort of rope sort of guardrail, this one's got the two stainless steel solid ones. It feels a really nice thing to come up. We've got a garage in here. Now the interesting thing with this garage door is you can lift it up like a conventional garage door to launch the boat. We will go into there and I will show you that, but you can also swing it the other way and it becomes a massive beach club then off the back of the boat. So very neat invention indeed that is. But let's head on in. I'm going to take you inside first of all. We'll work our way through the interior. We're going to every area, so crew areas, deck areas, engine areas, the garage, the lot, and it starts right here. Check this out. Very much all about Italian style this is, so very discreet. I love the dark wood and the pale upholstery. It is a very, very spacious and nice piece of kit. A couple of neat things to point out here. One is the fact that this has a TV that slides out. So when you want television, that's where it comes from. I've not seen that before. Another thing to mention is in behind this curtain, there is a sliding side door just here, so you can have that open, and that is a drop balcony. So that hinges down flat, gives you another balcony off of this area, which is lovely. Let's slide that back. If I spin on around a bit further, we've got the dining area just here. There's so much floor space in this boat. It just feels really spacious. This is all storage all the way along here. I'm not going to open it all because there's just so much of it, but just to give you a flavour, this is, for example, crockery in places like this. And the other one, which is nice to see, that iPad there is for the entertainment systems. And then if we go just up here, this one is glassware. Really, really good. That's through to the galley and the crew areas. We are going to take a look at that, but first of all, we're going to show you the guest areas. So we'll head on forward and do that. This again, all storage. So all of these here we can pull, and we've got cutlery in here, for example, and so forth. And then we've got these, of course, we've got the blinds down over the windows. These raise up. If you want the full view, then you can have it. Let's head on forward. We've got steps up and steps down. We'll be doing both of those, but we'll go forward first of all into the owner's cabin. But before we get to that, Dayheads is here on the main deck. So that's just with a sliding pocket door. The other thing that we've got here then, I can remember how to open it. There we go. We've got linen closets about the place as well, like this. Fantastic. Okay, let's spin on round. Let's head on forward. And this then is into the owner's cabin. So basically the door is here. This whole area from here forward is for the owner. And this one here, if I can remember how to open it, there we go. Slides, and you've got a walk-in wardrobe just there. Really, really good size. Slide that back again. More storage around here. There's storage under the beds on these as well, so for spare bedding and that kind of thing. It's not the sort of stuff you want to get to every day, but it just means that it utilises every area. This is a big, spacious cabin. If we come right across to this side, we've got the big windows in here as well, so a great view out. And we are in Palma at the moment. We'll see this a bit better in a minute when we go up into the other decks, but yeah, that's the kind of view that we're getting from here. And then there's more wardrobes in places like this. There we go. And then this is storage. That, incidentally, is the AV equipment for this cabin. This video work stuff along here. More storage in places like this. Except for that one. Maybe on. Now you might think, having seen that AV equipment, well that's great, but where's the TV? It's actually built into here. So when you switch it on, it shines through the mirror. And then the ensuite for this cabin is up here. Really nicely done. Love this sort of stone effect on here. It looks really good. Toilet is down there, and then we have the shower. Really big shower in the centre. Like so, and you might think, well, is that a mirror? No, it's not. What we've got is another toilet on this side, like so. So you have two completely separate zones. And no, you probably would not use them both together. There's always somebody who mentions it. Moving on. But this is a big area, isn't it? So this whole area right down through here, very nice, comfortable retreat for the owner. Fantastic. Let's press on a bit further. I'm going to show you the lower decks. And they are down here. It's all very well lit through here. Feels really good, really comfortable. Okay, let's head back first of all. So double cabin, as you can see, again with the big hull windows. We're not getting the full effect of this here because we've got a yacht right alongside us, but you can imagine when you're at anchor, which is where you'd normally be if you were out sleeping on the boat, perhaps for a week at charter, then that's more likely where you're going to be than alongside another boat in a harbour. But yeah, you have got tremendous views out. The circular sections, incidentally, are opening sections. Again with the AV equipment, again with the storage everywhere. So these along here, for example, little dressing area, and then the toilet. All a very similar standard to the one that we saw in the owner's cabin, just obviously a little bit smaller. I like the illuminated shower. Very nice. Towel rail in here. And again, the quality of finish, the thickness of the doors, all that kind of stuff. It's just beautiful. So that is that. If we cross over, we'll find a very similar kind of thing over here. So double bed, better impression of the the effect of the window in this one, obviously. Shorter boat next door on this side. I love this little inset lighting in places like this. There we go. View out looks like that. And then again, wardrobes over here. Little dressing area. There we go. And the ensuite to this fella is tucked away over here. So again, with the shower all illuminated, toilet, mirror, sink, wave, etc. Okay, back out across here, and we've got this one over here. I think I've done all four. I've lost count. There's 4 cabins down here. This one is 2 singles. Yeah, that's right. Let's carry on. Pullman in this one, so this will drop down to give extra sleeping if it's required. Again, the big hull windows. What you've got here is 2 sets of blinds. You've got this, which just gives you a bit of diffused light through, but there's also then darker ones that come down as well, so you get a proper blackout blind if you want it. Storage down in places like this. We've got the AV equipment, and then we've got toilet, sink, shower. All beautifully done. I have genuinely lost count now. Let's just make sure we get this right for you guys. So we've got that one there, 2 singles, that one there with a double, and then the 2 doubles back here. One over on this side, and one over on this side. I think we've covered them all, but just in case. So 5 cabins in total, 4 down here, plus the owner cabin that we saw when we first came on. Right, let's press on back up here. I think what we're going to do now is we'll loop around and give you guys a look at the crew areas. So back into the saloon, we'll wander across this way, and this takes us then into the galley. That's in here. So here we've got things like wine cooler, we've got a little bit of cooking here, there's more further in. Side door as well, so the crew can come straight in and out and along the side deck, or up and forward. So you've got really good crew routing out of the boat without going through the guest area. And then if you come on forward, we've got dishwasher, obviously the main cooking area here, refrigeration, freezers. In fact, these are all monitored. You can see up here, it's telling you what temperatures all of those are. Storage all the way around everywhere, storage around here, a lot of space. And then if we come from here, we can loop around. There's more storage here, like so sort of pantry areas, a lot of that about the place. And then this takes us down to the crew area. So very nice mess area down here. You've got little cooking facilities, that sort of thing. Laundry is down here as well. That's in here. So it's a drying area plus your washers and your dryers. Is it the other way around? I think that's the washers and that's the dryers. But yeah, good proper laundry facilities. There are 3 cabins down here and 2 toilets. These are in use, so they've opened one for me to have a look at, but basically there are bunk beds in here, and that has an ensuite door into a heads in here. Then there is another cabin up here with 2 beds in. I think I'm right in saying that one's got its own toilet. I'm sure it has. And then this one, just to give you an idea of what these look like, this is a single cabin. This is in fact the chef's cabin. There's a separate captain's cabin as well up on the bridge deck. So that's that one. So yeah, 3 of those, 2 with twins and 1 single, so 5 in total. Other things that we've got down here is a monitoring system for the boat, so everything can be accessed from here and kept an eye on. We've got TV down here as well, and if we look around on this side, then we've got access to the CCTV system so that you can keep an eye on people coming on and off, that kind of thing, for example. And a little window just in through there. Excellent, let's press on. What else have we got? Oh, this is refrigeration down here. So fridge and freezer. And then this one here is just a big storage area down underneath there. Just using every area really, aren't they? There we go. Okay, let's press on. So back out through the galley. We'll loop our way around back out to the saloon and the dining area, and if we come around this way, that was through to the owner's cabin, that was down to the lower deck. This time we're going up here, and this will take us up to the pilot house. So what we've got here is, first of all, there's a pantry area for this deck, so that's in there. And then if we come forward again, we have got the pilot house itself. Proper lovely place of business. Look at this. Look at the screens on here. These are all configurable, so these can be set up by the captain however he wants to use it. At the minute we've got charts on this one, we've got engine instrumentation on here, we've got some of the systems, operating systems for the boat across here. This one's showing us fuel levels, for example. CCTV monitoring here, but what they've done with this is they've made it so that you can get behind the scenes very easily. So for example, if we can just move those out of the way, we can lift that up and you can get right in then to all the wiring and that kind of stuff. They've made it actually quite practical, so that if there's ever any problems, things can get reached fairly easily. There's wing stations on the outside, I'll show you those in a moment. And then there's this desk area here, we've got communications here as well, all that kind of stuff is all controlled from there. And then this is the captain's cabin. So there's a door here that slides across. We've got the bed here. There is wardrobes, that kind of stuff, all back here. And then an ensuite just for this cabin in here. So shower on that side, toilet, etc. over there, TV in here and so on, even pitch radio in here. Got it all, isn't it? So that is the bridge, helm station, call it what you will. We'll loop on round now and head aft, because there is another lounge on this area, sky lounge, upper deck lounge, call it what you will, but it's here. This closes off, there's a sliding door here, so again it can be separated off. If you're running the boat at night, for example, it means that the bridge can be kept in total darkness and this can still be used. A very, very nice separate area on the boat. Lovely. Again, with these blinds which you can roll up, we can have down for a bit of diffused light, as we've got at the minute. This I think is lovely. These are corks from the launches of the owner's previous boats. I've not seen that done before. I think it's a really great idea. All storage along here, and there is a TV, I think I'm right in saying, that lowers down from the ceiling. I'm 99% sure. Honestly, the captain of this was so helpful and showed me so much stuff that by the time we got to the end, it was kind of hard to retain it all. But yeah, I'm pretty certain we got a TV that drops from the ceiling here. Let's press on out to the aft deck. So what you've got out here is a brilliant outdoors dining area. You've also then got things like the fridge, the ice maker. So this is all independently catered for up here. But a very, very nice place to dine of an evening or breakfast in the morning in the fresh air. You've got these nice little seating areas around the back as well. That's fantastic. Very nice indeed. I think what we'll do while we're here is we'll head on up, because we've got, would you believe, another deck again. The sun deck is up here. If we go on around, this brings us right up to the top of the boat. Check this out. Look at that. So a fabulous place to catch some rays, completely uninterrupted. If you come right to the back, you can get a full sense of the size of this. Also, you can see a lot of navigation equipment up on the top. So we've got the satellite domes, we've got antennas, of course, there's 2 radars up there, all the nav lights, all that kind of stuff, all up on the top. And those little clips there and there are for a ladder to be dropped into place so that the crew need to get up there for any maintenance. That's the way on up. It does make you wonder otherwise how you'd ever get up there to do anything, but that is how it's done. Then this area here is a nice shaded area where you can get the views, but also get a little bit of shade. And then we come forward again. Barbecue is up here. Barbecue is up here. I'll edit that out later. Sink is up here. And then again, you've got, you know, fridges and ice makers and all the usual sort of stuff that you would expect. If we spin around this way, life rafts live here. They're underneath these 2 here. So in an emergency, they're up on the high point of the boat, which obviously makes sense. And that's where they live, easy to be accessed. And the jacuzzi is here. That is a wonderful spot, isn't it? Imagine being in that and your view out across the front of the boat. Just absolutely magnificent. That is really, really nice. And then we can walk around this. So if you're going to a port, for example, this is a wonderful place to stand and watch it all happening. And Antonio is explaining to me how, when he brought this boat in, of course, doesn't normally live here, it's here for the boat show. He had to actually bring the boat in through this gap. Now let's pause and have a little think about that. That, through that. He came in forward, brought it down here, and then he had to spin the boat and reverse it back into here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how they earn the big bucks. Rather him than me. Good heavens. Another thing that he mentioned down here, which I thought was really interesting, it never occurred to me before, there are emergency batteries. The main batteries, of course, are down in the engineering spaces low down. There are emergency batteries for the emergency radios and that kind of thing, so that, you know, you don't want to think about it, but in an absolute worst case scenario where everything's going wrong, these batteries will remain powering the safety equipment like radios and locator beacons and that sort of stuff right up until the last. The thinking that goes in the background of these actually I think is really interesting. It's the sort of stuff that normally we don't give a second's thought. A bit like we're on aircraft, the amount of safety systems there are on aircraft, but us, we just get on and sit down and enjoy the ride. But it's interesting to hear about things like that. We don't normally get to. It was a very thorough tour. Okay, let's go back down from here. I'm going to take you a wander around the decks. We've got the foredeck area to show you, and then we're going to head down and look at the engineering spaces, the engine room, the garage, all that kind of stuff. It's all very, very fascinating. Okay, we're going to head around this way. We could go through the Sky Lounge again and out through the bridge doors, but in actual fact we could also walk through here, which is an area we haven't seen, so given this is access all areas, this is the way we're going. Now what we've got up here is wing stations, first of all. So these are the doors either side of the pilot house, and the wing stations are here, so that, oh there we go, they open that way. The captain can stand here, he's got full control of throttles and thrusters, and of course then you can stand and see exactly how you're placing the boat. And there's one of these on either side. And then up here, we've got another wonderful social area. These are for bimini poles, so you can put a bimini over here and shade it if you want to. But yeah, a great area. Again, particularly if you're stern to berthed, this gives you the view right out across the front. Absolutely fantastic. We'll come right up to the bow. Anchor handling kit is here. There's another seating area right up in the front. That's a lovely place to be when the boat's underway. And there is a deck locker here. If I can remember how to open it. Oh, there we go. So this gets you through to the winch controls for the 2 winches. Chain locker is down there, and also some storage has been put in as well across the back, which is very helpful. So that's that. Let's drop that one back down. Let's head on back round this side. That is the bridge. So obviously we've got the windscreen covers on at the moment, but when the boat's underway they all come off, and that is where the boat is helmed from. Got the big pantograph wipers across there, as you can see. And this door here then takes you back into the bridge. Like so, this is the one we walked past on the other side. And also then that is the other wing station on this side, so it opens in exactly the same way. There we go. Let's head on back from here. We can drop back down this side. This will take us back past the galley and the crew areas, and this is what I mean about the routing. From those crew areas comes up through the galley, and from here they can come out and head aft or head forward and up to the foredeck, to the bridge, and so on. And this is part of the camera systems here, so the whole boat can be monitored, obviously from a safety and a security point of view. We'll press on back. I'm going to show you the cockpit. That's here. And in fact, while we're here, I'm going to take you down and show you the aft deck area. This is the door that I was telling you about as we came on. So this garage door, as I say, it will hinge either from the top or from the bottom. If you hinge it from the top, it opens that way. This drops down into the water, and then you can launch your rib or your jet ski. And I'll show you those in a moment when we go inside. Or you can hinge it from the bottom. It comes down this way, and that whole surface area there comes down. It's teak. This drops down out the way again, and that makes a massive beach club right at water level. Absolutely fantastic. But I'll show you that from the inside. Let's go and have a look. So back up here, this is the cockpit area. Very big social space again. That was where we went into the boat in the first place. That is emergency access from the engine space. I'll show you the other side of this, but yeah, if we open that, you can actually come up through the floor here in an emergency. I'll show you where that is. That's steps that take you back up to the bridge deck. I'll show you very quickly so you can see where we are. There we go. So that's that dining area that we saw on the back of the boat, and the steps up then to the sun deck. But we're going to go this way, on round here, and we will find this door, which opens like so, and this takes us down into the engineering areas. This is absolutely fascinating. So first thing to mention is these are for that drop balcony. They're the rails that go around. That's where they live. We've also got emergency shutdowns for all kinds of stuff here. Air intakes, port fuel valve, port garage, extractor, all of that kind of stuff. Everything's immediately able to be, in an emergency situation, you can get straight to that. And then exactly the same here. You've got emergency stops for things, dampers, engine stops, all that kind of stuff. It's all there so you can come straight in, hit whatever's needed if there's an emergency situation. It's back to the sort of stuff that, you know, 99.99% of the time will never get needed, but it's very, very important that it's there. Okay, let's come right on down. We've got 2 water makers on the boat. Those are here, and they're utilising these areas here. All the electrics then are down across here, so circuit breakers, that kind of stuff. We've got another panel that accesses all of the services within the boat, so we can go into engines, or we can go into navigation or whatever else. That's all accessible from this panel. If we come right on back, this is the garage. Look at this. So we've got a tender here, and that, I mentioned this door, this is the door that will lift up that way to get the tender out and the jet ski out, or go the other way, and that teak area there is the, basically becomes the beach club. Big Williams diesel jet, really good sized tender, look at that. That is fantastic. And then we've got the jet ski opposite, and if you look closely, you'll see it's actually got a little filling station down here. And that's because the jet ski runs on petrol. This is diesel, as is obviously the main ship itself, but jet skis are petrol, so that has to have its own separate little petrol tank, and you can refuel the jet ski directly from that. It's really neat, isn't it? And obviously then when you go to the fuel dock and fill the main boat up with fuel, you add some petrol and top up the petrol tank at the same time. We've got bimini poles in here as well. These are the poles I mentioned to be able to put a bimini top up. I think that those are for this sun deck area, this beach club area I should say. I think that's what these little discs here are for. But even here, look at the way this is all finished. Lighting underneath and that kind of stuff. Every area of this boat, it just feels really, really good. Right, that's the garage. Let's head. So we'll look down here, first of all. That's something important. And I can't remember what it is. I was told, honestly, it was a really, really brilliant and thorough tour. Answers on a postcard, please. Let's go this way. I'll find some other stuff that I can remember. Like this. What do you think this is? Well, I'll tell you, it's an emergency steering situation, so that if you ever lost all hydraulics to the steering, you are not stuck. You can come down here, you can center the rudders, and you can make sure that you can still helm the boat. Obviously, you'd have communication with crew who can watch where you're going. But it means, yeah, you're not stuck in that kind of situation. Again, it's backups on backups. Rudder indicators here, so you can see where the rudders are. You've also got, even down here, you've got navigation. There we go, and a navigation repeater, like so. Fire equipment down here as well. Amazing. Okay, let's press on a bit further. We'll come around this way now. And we'll go into here. This is another engineering space full of important things. There we go. That's the garage in through there. Luggage gets stored down here. That one at the back is for the shore power cable. It actually comes in through and into that drum. It's powered, so it means from the crew's perspective, these cables are really thick, heavy cables, and that allows you to just hit a button, and once you've unplugged, obviously, wind it in and into that drum out of the way. And the fella behind it at the back, that big white box, that is shore power management. So wherever you're plugged in, whatever voltage, whatever phase it is, that will convert it to what the boat actually requires. So you plug in, it's not the right thing for the boat, no problem, that will make it the right thing for the boat. You've got the vise down here so it can be used for working. So it's like a little engineering space, really. Fantastic. Okay, let's press on a bit further, because in here we've got the main event, and that is engines. Check these out. So engine room is here. These are a pair of MAN engines. They're V12s and they are 1,400 horsepower each. It's a displacement boat, so it's given a top speed of about 15 knots and a cruise typically at about 10 knots, and that would give you about 500 miles of range. What else have we got in here? We've got generators in here. So they're outboard, one over there. And if we spin around that way, you'll see there's another one down on that side. This is interesting. This is a fuel polishing system. It's basically a centrifuge. There are two tanks. There's a day tank that the engines run off, and then there's a main bunker tank. And what you do is you filter the fuel from the bunker tank via this into the day tank that the engines draw from. And it's like a centrifuge. It spins the fuel at incredibly high speed, and it pulls all the impurities out of the fuel. So you get top quality fuel to your engines. It takes out all kinds of bugs and dirt and anything nasty that's got into the tank. That cleans out. It's an amazing, amazing piece of kit. Very, very helpful. We've got manifolds across the back here, and we've got more of the electronics and that kind of stuff I was going to mention, or I was going to show you, well, first of all, that's the stabilization system. It's got electric stabilization. That's a camera up there, so that's monitoring this system, monitoring this room, I should say. And we can get right around here. These, I think I'm right in saying, are sight gauges for the fuel tank. There's that other generator. And I wanted to show you that emergency route out. That is over on this side. If you have a look down here, there we go, it's up there. So you pull that ladder down, you push that floor up, and that takes you into that area that I showed you that's straight off of the cockpit, and you're straight out then. As I say, another thing that you will 99.99% never use, but it is there, and it's very important that it is. These are power takeoffs. These are running the hydraulics for things like the anchor winches, for things like the bow and stern thrusters. They all run hydraulically directly from the engines. If the engines aren't running, there's a backup. They'll run electrically. Well, there's a hydraulic pump that is run electrically, so that even if the engine's not running, for example, if you want to let a bit of anchor chain out, you don't necessarily want to start the engines up. You've got people in the water, that kind of thing, swimming and having fun. You don't get people out so you can start the engines, so you just switch that over to electric and you can use the hydraulics electrically. Pretty impressive, huh? Fire systems in here, all that kind of stuff. Again, we're back down to the safety systems on this, of which there are many. Superb. Okay, let's come out of here. That's back through to that engineering area. This is back through to where we came in. That is back to another engineering area and the garage. We saw that back here with the Williams jet tender in. And we're going to go this way, back out. Another camera here. Brilliant. Okay, let's come up here. And I think what we'll do is we will head forward. Back up to the foredeck. And this will be a lovely place to finish up. I didn't tell you about the owl, did I? The reason the owl is there is to scare off the seagulls. They don't like owls, it's a predatory bird. So it stops the seagulls from landing on the boat and causing a mess. Good. Let's sit up here. And I am going to say massive thanks to Ocean Independence. They organised this tour and they had this yacht for charter. So if you fancy a week or two on here, speak to Ocean Independence. They'll be very glad to sort that out for you. I'll put a link to them in the description. And massive thanks to Captain Antonio, who just was so helpful. Honestly, we must have spent an hour and a half going through this. It was incredible. We went through every area, and we filmed pretty much every area as well. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Let me know what you think, but I think that's been a very comprehensive tour of a very lovely super yacht. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon. Bye bye.